Investor's Edge with Gary Kaltbaum. Straight talk about you and your money. Now from the BizTalk studios, here is Gary Kaltbaum.
And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It is May 14th. It's Tuesday, 2024. Hope you're having a good day. This is serious talk on everything that affects you. Your jobs, your industry, the economy, markets, unemployment, taxes, deficit spending, scams, shams, corruptions, you name it, we cover it with no agenda, no ulterior motive, no bias. Why? We can't stand any of them. We never even used to have to talk about them until they started dipping into our wallets in the ways of $35 trillion to this day, leading to this Marxist in chief, who we got to cover almost every day with the next stupid lie out of his mouth, the next stupid policy out of his mouth, the next stupid proposal out of his mouth. And to think that we want him gone, knowing his replacement would be Donald Trump, tells you how much we think about this guy. If Trump wins, he gets a shot. Hopefully he does the right thing. If he doesn't win, we're screwed. Well, let's hope the Republicans get the House or the Senate so we can block this guy. But then again, we thought we'd be able to block him with the House, but he's doing every executive order underneath the sun, handing out money, our tax dollars, like it's candy. That's later. Hey, if you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our Twitter feed, which is now X. And if you don't follow us on X, you should. We're pretty cool on there, and I'm going to bring that up in a second. And if you'd like to email me, all we ask is you be nice. Should be simple for you, right? Just be nice. Which gets me back to X. Twitter. So yesterday we did this very nice show for each and every one of you. We started out the show by saying our number one goal is the protection of capital. And we had stated to you, well, the meme stocks started heating up again amazingly. And that is GameStop, AMC, and there's a couple of others in there, but not like those two. And all we said to you was, just be careful. All we said to you was, because we really don't know how this plays out, how far it goes, how long it lasts. We didn't even know what would happen today, the next day. Just be careful. And our usual line when you get into bubbles is don't be the last one in. And if you're trading it, you better be trading correctly, because there can be very big losses in a short period of time. Make sure you don't turn them into big losses. Just the normal everyday staying in front of things to help you guys out. Again, not knowing what's going to happen, because there's no way of knowing. In other words, we told you the truth. And the truth is, when we went to bed last night, we had no idea what the meme stocks would do. The fact is, if I thought they would open up 100% higher today, I would have loved to buy them yesterday. But it's a guessing game, and I don't believe in guessing games. So what we said to you is this: we're not going to tell you to buy them, sell them, short them, or cover them. You get to decide. It's your money. Just please know what you're dealing with. Now, you would think something like that would be a, hey, thank you. Thank you. And we'll make the decision for ourselves, because guess what? You're all big boys and girls. And it is your money, right? Well, not in the world of Twitter. As I've told you before, we hardly ever block people on Twitter. We don't really get into debate with anybody because the words tic-tac-toe. Imagine if I got into a debate with one of these anti-Semites on Twitter, back and forth. Imagine if you got into a debate with somebody who says, and there are people out there that says that October 7th didn't happen. It was a setup by the Israelis. Imagine that. Well, that comes down to the words of tic-tac-toe. You can never win the game, so you don't play the game. Pretty simplistic, right? Right. But on Twitter, what you have is anybody. And what I mean by anybody, there's a ton of them that are just monikers. People that do not show their faces, kind of like the anti-Semites with their masks. And out of nowhere, I got engaged by... Let me start from the end of it. I had to block them. And the reason is I just tic-tac-toe. You really can't win. So the guy or gal, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, pretty much attacked me, jumped on me. Basically, I'm a moron, I'm an idiot, I'm a doofus, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and this, that, and the other thing when it comes to the meme stocks. And he actually wrote to somebody else, hey, so-and-so, with another moniker that they don't even know who it is. Hey, do you see what kind of a moron this guy is? And again, I blocked him, so I don't remember exactly what he said, but pretty much those words. Think about that. Listen to the radio show and put me down over meme stocks. And then, before I blocked, I decided to roll down this person. And what it is, you just go down all the tweets that they put out, and every one of the tweets had AMC on it. So I don't know, hopefully the person hasn't owned AMC for the last couple of years. Hopefully they didn't. We don't wish anybody bad here. We only want people to make millions of dollars. So he ripped me or she ripped me, and I just answered back nicely and calmly. And then they started one more time, and I knocked them out. And all I kept thinking to myself is, does this person not realize AMC before this move dropped 99%, while they've been yipping and yang the stock on their Twitter feed forever? I'm thinking to myself, 99, not 50, where it has to double to get back your money, not 60, not 75, but 99%. Yet they're getting pissed off at me for saying to you on radio, just be careful. The moves are going to be random, and don't get you caught on the wrong side. That's what I have to deal with. People are so weird. Imagine somebody trying to help the rest of the world out with your very hard-earned capital, and some putz on the web who doesn't show their face. And I blocked. I had to. I just can't deal with it. My friend Charles Gasparino, who gets ripped by these people also, doesn't like block, and they just keep going back and forth, and he curses them out. I just don't have the time. Anyway, let me just tell you what happened today with them, just so you, again, remember, it's very important that the moves are going to be random. From the next day to the next day, nobody knows if they're going to gap them down or gap them up. And we just want you to think. That's all we're asking you to do. Here is why. The next day, and I'm not making this up, this is not a typo, ladies and gentlemen, coming out of my mouth. AMC Entertainment today on the first bar opened up somewhere, I think it was about $11.50. $11.50. It closed yesterday at $5.15. Imagine if you made the decision before the close yesterday, well, I'm going to take a flyer. You would have made more than 100% on your money overnight. I hope you did. I did not. Here's the problem. The high on the first bar today was $11.88. It closed at $6.79. Now, my rusty abacus says, what is that, 40? At the low today, it was $5.86, so it was over 50%. So imagine if you get caught up emotionally, psychologically, over this. Imagine. And you don't trade it. You're down 40 to 50% within hours on AMC. GameStop, not as bad, but they opened that up at $64.83, hit a low of $36. I don't know, but it seems to me that's in the 40s. They did close it at 49, still down from almost 65. 16 to 12, 25%. Up next. We'll finish that up and then we'll get to the markets, the rest of the markets. This is the one only Investor's Edge.
Hi, I'm Gary Kaltbaum, host of the nationally syndicated radio show Investor's Edge. We're not just handsome radio people. We manage investors' money for a living, specializing in fee-based discretionary money management. No big commissions, just a fee on the assets that's managed. We also provide a full range of personalized services, including retirement planning, fixed income, and educational needs, all to assist you in achieving your financial goals. Understanding not all individuals have the same needs, we'll carefully evaluate your personal goals to determine a proper investment strategy. If your current approach to investing is not getting you to where you would like to be, call us to make an appointment for a complimentary portfolio review. The number to call is 888-422-5559. That's 888-422-5559. That's 888-422-5559. Investment advisory services offered through Kaltbaum Capital Management.
It's time to switch on the integrator units and get the brain cells working.
You're listening to
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Investor's Edge
The last bastion of quality programming.
with Gary Kaltbaum.
It doesn't get better than this.
So, from the open today, you could have lost 40% if you bought on the open, the hot open. And we're going to tell you exactly what we said to you yesterday on these. If you catch them right, you can make some serious coin. If you catch them wrong, you can lose your arse in a matter of hours. That's all. How it opens tomorrow, I have no idea. How far they go, I have no idea. How long it lasts, I have no idea. But by the word precedent, Precedent, they all will eventually go back to where they came from. That's how it's always worked when you get this. These stocks are not moving because GameStop cured cancer. AMC Theater, whatever. They are moving because there's some mechanism of short squeezes in there, and whoever this guy is, what Roaring Kitty, was able to light the fuse. I'd like to have that power. He was able to light the fuse. And everybody was reporting today how much the short sellers lost on these two stocks in the last day. If that is the case, holy crap. We have a rule here on shorting. We try not to short anything that has too many shorts out there because of something like this. Are there any other stocks out there? Maybe. I do know Reddit's gone along with it because that's the original where it was posted and all that stuff. Does it end tomorrow? Don't know. Does it keep going tomorrow? I don't know. Just be careful. Because when it all's said and done, they will go back to where they came from. Because ultimately, always, eventually, always, real value ends up mattering. And if GameStop comes out with a phone better than the iPhone, who knows where it can go to the upside? But if they don't, and may I state for the record, when I walked into my office and saw where they were opening these things up, I was like, wow, holy crap. GameStop closed at $30 yesterday, and they opened it up today $64, give or take. 100% moves. Now, the other thing I told you was a little bit of a worry. What's the little bit of the worry? I don't like froth and speculation. It's the last thing I want to see. Why? Because very often it is a sign of a near-term trouble for the market. It's not a pinpoint indicator, as we said yesterday. In other words, when you get ridiculous bullishness, does not mean the market tops that day. It could take a couple of months, but it's indicative. Just like in 08, 09, things were so bad, I went to the bank and took 25 grand cash out because I was worried about the financial system. Market bottom 2 months later, 3 months later, I think it was. So just letting you know. Every now and then we come upon an ass clown, and I hate the fact that they don't show their faces, and whatever, and I hope that person is making a mint off of this. Really do. I hold no ill will. Just very weird that after a 99% drop that somebody would buck up. Buck up. Look what's going on now. It's so weird. But then again, welcome to the world. 99% didn't stop somebody from bucking up. Told you so. Yeah, it's down from $400. It's trading at $7. Anyway, we wanted to start with that, and we'll keep you up to date on them. We'll see how it goes. Again, we don't know if it's a flash in the pan for a couple of days or it keeps going tomorrow. We don't know if they open them up 100% tomorrow. As I speak, GameStop's up $2 in the aftermarket. Nice. Of course, that'll change. And by the way, AMC is smart. You know what they did? They raised money. I would have probably waited a little, see if it'd go higher, but they did a spot secondary, raised money. Was it AMC, I think? Yeah, I think it was AMC. And that's that. Before we get in the market, Joe Biden was out today. What a doofus. What a doofus. You know what politics is, ladies and gentlemen? It's marketing. You know that, right? All they do is market. Somehow I ended up on Joe Biden's campaign list, and they call me Dan. I don't know. My name's Dan, according to the Biden administration. And they're offering me now, you ready for this? Come have ice cream with Joe Biden. Just give him $25 and he'll enter me into a contest. I get to have ice cream with him if I win. But that's besides the point. I saw him out today talking about the economy and jobs and this and that. And here's the amazing part. He just lied about everything again. And just so you know, he was on CNN recently and lied about everything. Do you know they have a fact checker on CNN that fact checks every Republican that's on there? And they did not fact check Joe Biden in his little interview with, Erin Burnett. Amazing. In case you do not know, in the swing states, I will tell you, as of the second, the polls are showing that President Trump, I think you still call every ex-president President Trump, winning handily in the swing states, which, as you know, I don't believe in polls because, a poll of 1,000 people, I don't think it means that much, but the numbers are pretty interesting considering the movement. We'll see how it goes. There's plenty of months left, but a lot of Dems are turning on Biden loudly. A lot of media that would never talk bad about a Democrat turning on him. They're worried. people are calling for him to step down. Let somebody else. The problem with that is, next up would be Kamala Harris. And her popularity is just above root canal. So we'll see how it goes. I just don't think we can last 4 years of Joe Biden if he gets his proposals through. Now, if the Republicans, and I'm independent, we get the House and the Senate, the Republicans, then a lot of things can be stopped. But as you can see, he's doling out money left and right with our taxpayer dollars to buy votes on the student loan thing. Never thought you'd be able to do that. Guess the Supreme Court doesn't matter so much. Up next, now I'm going to talk markets. This is the one and only Investor's Edge.
Listening to
America is talking.
Investor's Edge.
He's got to be pleased with that. The crowd is just on its feet here. He's a Cinderella boy.
With Gary Kaltbaum.
Comes highly recommended. You're going to feel better if you talk to him.
So, something happened today that could be very important. Let's see if I can do it in a way where it's... Yeah, I think I can do it. In the past, whenever we would get an inflation number from our government that was on the hot side, to account for the inflation, yields, the free market, real yields would go higher. And in turn, the market would go lower. We got a hot number today on inflation. It's called the PPI, the Producer Price Index. Yields went down instead of going up. And I was asked 100 times today from people I know and people I don't know, what do I think? My answer, it's not the news, it's the reaction to the news. And whatever the free market, real market saw in that inflation number, it wasn't as bad as the number, according to the free market. It's the best way I can put it. Now, unfortunately, we do know for a fact that our markets aren't free anymore. We had this miscreant Jay Powell printing up to $9 trillion. Ben Bernanke started the experiment in 2008, printing a crap load of money, and Ben Bernanke's quote at the time, and I'm paraphrasing. Can't be a quote if I'm paraphrasing, but I'm paraphrasing his quote. He said, yeah, we'll be able to wind this down pretty quickly. $9 trillion later. And we also know Janet Yellen is playing with the treasuries right now. She's doing new auctions with short-term rates, short-term paper instead of long, because she knows if long-term interest rates go higher, that'd be bad for the election. Oops. We'll see. Were they in there buying bonds today, pushing rates down? I don't know. But I wouldn't put it out of the question. That said, the outcome, interest rates came down on a hot inflation number. It's the best way I can put it. And that's good news. Tomorrow, there's the Consumer Price Index, the CPI, and we await that. Is it a hot number and interest rates still stay down? Or does the market sees a second hot number and said, I don't know. We're really dancing on a ledge here one way or the other. If it's not a hot number, does it really get good? Because I got to tell you what happened at the end of the day today. And pretty much all day. NASDAQ rallied. Semiconductors rallied. Dow, which was flat, I think, at 2 o'clock, finished up over 100. The technical condition setting up. What do I mean? I got to tell you, the NASDAQ is a stone's throw away of breaking out of range. The old high closed at 16,511. The old high was 16,539. The NASDAQ 100 closed at 18,322, I believe, right? Yeah, 18,464, the old high. And by the way, it would be better, but Apple hasn't helped, and some others. And there's the semiconductors. And you know how important it is to our work. It looks like they're now coming up the right side. And that 50-day moving average right now so far is sticking. And if it sticks, that'd be great news. You have some really crappy earnings report stocks in new high ground in semis. Texas Instruments. We're not making it up when I tell you the last 4 quarters earnings were minus 24, minus 25, minus 30, minus 35. It edged out of range in the last 2 days. New highs. Sales minus 13, minus 14, minus 13, minus 16 year over year. That's terrible. And the quarter they're in now, the guidance is for another down 30 and another down teens. What gives beats the hell out of me. They better be seeing something good. Analog device is another one. Earnings were down 37%. Revenues down 23%. It broke into new high ground today. These were semis that were lagging. KLA 10 core edging into new high ground at the close today. Last 4 quarter earnings were down. Last 4 quarter sales were down. And in fact, they lowered their numbers before reporting better numbers. I love Wall Street. They lowered their numbers 3 weeks before earnings and then beat by 29 cents. You think the game's on? But most importantly, semis are improving. And I'm not so sure I've ever seen a bad market when the semis are better. They haven't broken out. Some names have, but as a group hasn't, but improving. And as we also told you, the big banks have been acting pretty darn well. I think JP Morgan at the close today may have closed at a new high after getting trashed recently on their earnings report. So just letting you know, this move down in rates, huge help. That correlation remains. And now we'll await tomorrow, and we'll see what comes of it. I have no clue what the number's going to be, and I have no clue. If you would have told me the inflation number today came in at the number that came in, I would have said, uh-oh. Futures dropped, turned around, drifted higher the whole day with the semiconductors and some other tech leading the way, with the meme stocks also. And it's May. Don't they tell us sell in May and go away? That said, did a webcast in the 3 o'clock hour for my peeps. Half the market still looks like crap. So you got to stay with what's working. Semis coming on. Big banks, big financials. Remember I told you I sold gold yesterday? They'll probably gap up today. Oh, it gapped up today. But not going to hurt me either way at a small position. It's not going to move too quickly. I can always get back in. Small caps are better. They're a pain in the rear. Sawtoothing up and down. But they're improving too. We'll see what comes of that. And of course, emerging markets better. China, for a change, had a down day. But that's because Alibaba reported earnings and was down a juicy 6%. Earnings down 10%. My goodness, the stock went down on bad earnings. As long as the big indices remain above the 50-day moving average, opportunity. If they move back below, we'll be telling you. And at that point in time, we'll alert you. And we'll see what comes of it. But I will state it for the record again. These interest rates going down on a hot inflation number, to me, that's kind of sort of big wow. The big banks acting well. Can't argue with that. And now the semis may be coming on. Are coming on. We'll see if it lasts. Can't argue with that either. And as always, if anything changes, we'll let you know. Markets are fluid. But don't have much to complain about today, especially on the finish. And if the big indices get taken out to the upside, here comes another leg up. Just got to know what to be in. Because as I stated, there's a lot of bad stocks out there. And if you want to know what I mean by the meme stocks, AMC's up 10% in the aftermarket. Still down 40% from the open today. It's crazy. Up next, this, that, and the other thing, or whatever else. This is the one and only Investor's Edge.
You're listening to
What are we waiting for?
Well, what are you waiting for?
1, 2, ready, go.
Action!
Investor's Edge with Gary Kaltbaum.
And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. In the news, the Rangers lost badly last night. They're still up 3-2, but they were up 3-0, and I'm not happy. The Knicks play tonight. They're 2-2, but they're injured. We'll see how that goes. In the news, in case you didn't know and you want a Tesla, buying a Tesla is now becoming more and more affordable with each passing month. The average price of a used Tesla, get this, is now down to a record $31,173. That's 54% below the average price from just 2 years ago. Wow. I know some people bought used Teslas on for investments. They're not happy. In the news, interesting. Any of you live in D.C.? I'm sure you've been reading about there. You see, there was a gunman, 18 years old, took out an AR-15. You know what an AR-15 is, right? And sprayed a D.C. neighborhood with 26 rounds. He was released on bail. No, we're not making this up. By a judge that says he's woke. There's a picture of this guy spraying an AR-15 on a street in Washington, D.C. Released on bail. What the F is going on out there, kids? How are these judges becoming judges? Released on bail. AR-15, you know what that is, right? It's stunning. I'm taken aback. Have you been reading about all this? Every day I'm reading in these cities with these crazy judges I saw one where somebody slashed somebody in the face with a knife. Let out. I saw one, 31 arrests, 21 of them violent. Let out. And you just know that these judges have security. It'll never happen to them. In the news. And we don't make this up. California Democrats. You know what we think of Gavin Newsom, another Marxist control freak. They're missing $20 billion. They're missing $20 billion that was supposed to go towards the homeless. Can't find it. No, I'm not making this up. Where'd it go? How come it didn't help? Where are the metrics? They don't have any metrics. Why are there more homeless now after spending $20 billion? And where did it go to? Let me tell you where it goes to, just so you do know. In Marxist control freak states. They start a committee, and they get paid very, very well. And that committee starts another committee with their friends or relatives to study the first committee, which goes to the third to study the second and the first. And at that point, you have 80 people employed by the state, and they call it this for the homelessness rainbow get out of trouble program. You got that? Just letting you know what's going on in some of these cities. In the news, we're warning you, Ozempic and the rest of those. Patients are now reporting disfigurement. Melted candle skin, they call it. And let me repeat again, I don't care what drug you take to lose weight. Once you get off the drug, you will gain that weight back before you say boo. So you're going to have to stay on that drug forever. And they're complaining about the COVID vaccines now and what it can mean and what it can do long term. Well, nobody's even talking about what these things can do. And don't get me wrong, people that are overweight, losing weight, that's a great thing. But how do you keep it off? Just remember, metabolism is a metabolism. I understand these things. I'm in shape. The only way to really keep it off and stay off is working out, eating right, and stay off the crap. You know what the crap is, right? That should only be in moderation. So I'm letting you know, write this down. I give it 2 years. There are going to be a lot of complaints about these drugs. Not that they didn't work. But coming off of them, you go right back where you were. And I'm amazed there's not talk about it. The good news is, gyms are now having classes for those people, which is actually a good thing. The gyms are recognizing what I recognize on that. So this class is, hey, you're on Ozempic or Mongobi, whatever the heck those things are called. You got to come on in because we're going to make sure you keep it off when you get off, because you're not going to go on that for the rest of your lives. That's in the news. And that is the news. Tomorrow, another inflation number. Let's hope the reaction's well. Because I will tell you, the NASDAQ's a stone's throw away of breaking out from the high on March 8th. The semiconductors are coming on. Some of the big banks already in shape. They're slow boats, though. But when JP Morgan moves into new high ground, I'm not so sure bad things are going to happen. But keep in mind, as I said, 50% of the market looks to be still in downtrend. Stay away from them. I can give you a laundry list of those names. I gave a laundry list to my peeps earlier today. It starts whether it's a Starbucks or a McDonald's in restaurants or an IBM in the Dow. And that is all. You have a great evening. Drive carefully. And when you get home, do like we do. It's quite simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better, I promise. TV tomorrow? I'm not sure. But same time tomorrow for radio. Peace out, all. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.
This has been Investor's Edge with Gary Kaltbaum on BizTalk. To listen to past episodes or to get in contact with Gary, go to GaryK.com. That's GaryK.com.